Liking lifestyle. How's everybody doing tonight? It's gonna be a short video today. Just finished my watch list for Monday. It is about 20. That's not 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 trades I'm looking at, and we will see how they do next week. What I did today was I wanted to look over all of my trades for the week. Um, there's a spreadsheet there, just to see how successful this new strategy I'm practicing is. As I said before, I still haven't physically taken a trade. These are all virtual. Consider this paper trading at the moment. Um, so I just want to let you guys know, with the practice I've been putting in, how successful these trades have been so far, to give you an idea of the possibilities. As always, I should have pulled this up ahead of time. As always, if you would like to learn about, if you like to learn from the people I've learned from, it is right here, the stock market playlist. 30 resources for $30. I have a resource. When I say resource, I mean a learning resource. By that, I mean I will give you a link to a YouTube page filled with useful information. And the main reason I made this course is because as I got better and better and learned more and more about the market, a lot of people would ask me, hey, how do you do the stock market? How do you trade? How do you learn? And I would say, literally, go on YouTube, type in stock market, start watching videos, and learn. My first week was spent watching like 12 hours of information that I was completely confused by. But I continued. I watched hour after hour after hour, and slowly but surely, it started to click, and it started to work for me. And here I am now doing charts with all these daggone lines on them, and understanding exactly what I'm looking at. I had no idea how to do a four chart option, multi-screen, whatever, until I started to learn. So I told people to learn on their own, and of course, people are lazy. They were like, "Why do I have to go learn on YouTube? Can't you just tell me what to do?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll do you one better. I will point you, literally, point you in the direction of the people to learn from. Hey, there's a guy, CNBC. How about you start watching CNBC to start understanding how the market moves? Oh, how about you watch Jim Cramer? These are freebies that anybody should know about. Of course, I'm not going to give you all the information in the stock list because that would ruin the purpose of selling the stock list. But just simple stuff like Jim Cramer, Mad Money. Watch his videos. He'll give you potential option plays. Potential stock plays for the week and or year. Um, People are asking him about their own stocks. Hey, I invested in Caterpillar. What do you think? He'll say, hey, the Biden infrastructure bill is coming. Caterpillar's probably going to get a lot of money. Stay in there. Or he'll say, hey, I just invested in NEO. What do you think? Hey, China's going through issue getting companies delisted from their own stock exchange. NEO may fall. Keep an eye on it. Stuff like that. Just learn. Just learn. So all you have to do is learn. Go right here. Go to YouTube. Type in stock market. And take it from there. All right, that's my little rant. So, like I was saying before, I wanted to track my progress for the week of all of the different lists I created. My daily breads 1 through 5, rounds 1 through 5. And let's look at my progress. So, as you can see, these are the tickers that were listed: CAG, AMX, CMU, etc., etc. I'm not going to say all of these because you can see these. And if you would like to check these charts yourself, just pause the video and go back and check it. Of course, puts, calls. If there was a double call trigger like with Micron, I put the date of it. If the call has not done a up or down, if the call does not make an up or down, sorry, I just got a text message, then I didn't count it yet because it hasn't died and it hasn't triggered. And of course, entry point, exit point. Right here, this is target 1. So right here, this is the entry point, target 1, target 2, target 3. This is also add, because on the weekly, that is the entry point for the weekly. So that's an add actually. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm counting it if you went just to the first target, or if you rolled it all the way to the top, where would you be? So as you can see, some trades were 20%, 30%, 20%, 50%, 20%. But then if you roll it up 233%, 70%, 100%, and that's what went throughout the whole week. A couple was 200 plus, a couple of 100 plus. The lowest ones were probably 13%, I think is the lowest one. I think I got a 10% here, right here. Triple M, that was a 10%er. As you can see, get a second to load up. You can see that 10% was right here on this call. It may have been closer to 20-25%, but I wasn't tracking it, so who knows. So, of all of these plays, there were a total of 53 tickers that were being watched throughout the entire week. That's 5 days, so that's about 10 to 11 companies per day. As you can see right here, I have 16. So it varies. Some days you may have 5, some days you may have 15, some days you may have 20, who knows. But the beauty of it is that as you build a new watch list every day, you keep your previous one, so they compound. So by the end of the week, you're looking at maybe 40 companies if they never triggered. Now, also, I had to make sure that going forward, I'll make sure to erase companies after they hit their price targets. Because if it goes up 200% and now it's at like 12%, I shouldn't still be watching that anymore because I'm done with that one. So of the 53 tickers, 44 were triggered, which is an 83% trigger rate. Of the 44 that were triggered, trigger means it hit the entry point and it kept going. Of the 44 that were triggered, 29 hit their target. So that's a 66% win rate of the 83% trigger rate, which is very good. I think they say you should shoot for 65-75% win rate, because then no matter what, you're always going to be up. So this is 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3, you can't lose. You win, you lose 1 out of 3 trades. But the interesting point, of these 29 that hit target and the 44 that were triggered, only 5 officially died. When I say died, like let's see here. Died is what happened right here. Triple M gapped up, it then triggered the second half. If it goes from being a call to triggering the put, it is dead because the call is no longer valid. Now, it may have died sooner because you should have around a 20% stop loss. But if not, you know for certain you're out of the trade when it triggers the downside, or vice versa. So that's what happened there. So only 5 of them died, 11% died. So that means you can basically just blindly trust this strategy from a numbers perspective, and you have a strong chance of always making money. Always. See, the way you should play this, depending on how many price levels you have, that should be how many contracts you play. Of course, when you're learning, start with 1 and have discipline. Limit yourself to 1. Sure, like let me show you. AMX was a good one. Look at that. AMX triggered right here. Hit 30%, 53%. What's that? 30%, 83%, 115, 150, 183, 233%. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by those rules that I just said, if you don't have 6 contracts, you will never see that 200%. You would get this 30%, which is a beautiful trade. Now, granted, in my past, I was definitely getting this, but shooting for this, and then I would end up down here because I was just like, it would go up, and then I would just die and be like, well, I guess I'll sell it down here after I lost all my money. That's not how you play it. So going forward, I'll make sure, which is the beauty of this strategy, I'll make sure to stay disciplined to take the money at this target. If I have 2 contracts, I get to take advantage of both of these. If I have 3, I get the 100%er. If I don't have 3, I'm only down here. And you have to be okay with that. Take the money and leave. And as you grow your account and get more and more money, you get to play a little bit harder. So, calculating every single ticker that was triggered, if you bought every single one with just one contract, $6,400. Of course, I rounded up because you have fees and stuff, and you can account for a little slippage. Like if you put in the bid at 150, you might get it at 153, and if you want to sell it at 200, you might sell it for 205. So it goes both ways. So of those, if you only sold on target 1, you are up $1,600, which is 25%. Just beautiful. You up 25% in a week. By those numbers, your 6,400 will be 13,000 in a month. Beautiful. 13,000 becomes what? Let's be safe, 25K in another month. So in 2 months, you went from 6,400 to 25K if you have this kind of track record. Of course, there's not a typical week, but let's just have fun about it. If you were to hold it and ride it to the top, you would be at $10,000, 56%. So this helps you see the pluses and minuses of trying to hold it a bit, but also you got to account for the ones that died on the way up. And there's a few companies here I didn't include, like Visa and Pfizer and JD, because I wasn't necessarily tracking them as seriously as these were, so I'm not going to count them. I'm just going to count the ones that were officially on my list. So that's kind of the wrap up right there. It's a decent track record for week 1. It should be a little higher actually. If I was to include Visa, maybe extra $1,000 in there. This had to be 7 to 9 to like 11 or 12 or something. Not a huge difference. So this is recap. This is recap number 1 of the week. Weekly recap number 1. Let me show you here. Visa went up to 135%, but I didn't track it as well. So I could count that, but I'm not going to because I already made a daggone spreadsheet. And I don't feel like adding another ticker to it. So we'll say 54, maybe 55 tickers, 45 triggered, 30 hit, whatever. Close enough numbers. So yeah, that's the recap. And next week, I meant to put this up on Saturday, but I had so much shit to do. And I was tired, so I put it up today. And uploading on my phone takes forever, so this might not even be up until like tomorrow at noon. But I'm going to put it on my IG because it's under 15 minutes. I'm going to make sure I keep it that way, so I have 1 minute to wrap everything up. I'm going to wrap it up in 30 seconds. So like I said, 53 tickers, 44 triggered, 29 hit, 5 died. Decent win rate. 6,400 to 8K or 10K, depending on how you held it. And this is just week 1. We'll see how I do on week 2, and then how we do when I actually start taking these with cold hard cash. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.